Dwarf Deku was cheated on, part 3. So I last left off where Deku... Sorry guys, so I last left off where Deku did the whole entire, fighting scene with All Might, the whole entire exam and all that other stuff. So after that, they go to, the mall. Deku doesn't run into Tokiyami. Deku doesn't run into Shigaraki or anything. Oh, sorry guys. Deku doesn't run into Tokiyami or anything. I mean, Shigaraki or anything. Ochaku does, but Deku saves, Ochaku by, walking on them and pretty much Shigaraki running off where, Ochaku saying that he's not his friend, but Shigaraki's gone already. So, yeah. So, Deku goes, to home, getting all of his stuff ready, and pretty much after that, they go to, training camp. They get ready, and they go to training camp, and everybody gets ready. So, Deku walks in there and gets started. So, pretty much, they get told, to do the whole entire, get on the bus, and pretty much they drive off down there, and they get dropped off down there. So, Deku pretty much, didn't really care for Ochaku, but yeah, still, yeah, that's the same. So, Deku goes to, goes in there, and pretty much, they're, they get escorted by a couple other pro heroes other than the Wild Wild Pussycats. Mirko, Miss Midnight, and also, a couple of the Wild Wild Pussycats actually do have a crush on Deku. So Deku is pretty, good. Now, Deku is going to be developing about 2 more powers, but, I'm going to be giving Deku 3 more powers in the next What If. I'm going to be giving him 1 of my powers in this What If that I want him to have. But the other 2, you guys will decide in the comments what power would Deku have next. It can be a sleep power, a weird power, or just a straight up, just stupid power. So yeah, let's get into it. So Deku, basically what I'm trying to say, guys, it's no limit what Deku can have. Literally, I give Deku Fantastic Four powers, I don't care. Deku can have any power. I mean, like, anything. Deku could be able to breathe in the water. Well, Deku cannot breathe in the water because he died by drowning, so he can't develop that power. But yeah, whatever. Actually, yeah, I think I did give Deku the ability to breathe in the water in my last What If, in my first What If. So yeah. So Deku pretty much goes, in there, and pretty much they get, dropped off into the forest after they're told, they have to walk to the place themselves. So Deku obviously just uses his super speed to pretty much fly past this whole entire thing, speeding past everybody, going back and forth, passing everybody in the dust. Deku gets to pretty much, the whole entire situation with, the Wild Wild Pussycat saying that Deku got here first, and Mirko bumping on Deku because, he got here first. So pretty much Deku, gets the first, snap of the mill, getting, the first, pretty much slap of the mill before anybody else. Now, everybody else shows up, they say, Deku's in the inside eating, and Deku's eating about a bowl of rice at this point, next to Mirko, and Mirko's, caressing Deku's head. Pretty much they walk in, and Mirko immediately stops, and Deku says, "Will you stop?" and pretty much looks behind himself and sees the whole entire class of 1A looking around the place, looking at all the food. They sit down and start eating and all that other stuff. And Deku pretty much doesn't go over to check on the kid with the horned mask, because Deku didn't, even acknowledge the kid with the horned mask, just walked past him. So Deku pretty much, starts, pretty much going into his room, and he gets stopped by Mirko. Deku, pretty much starts flirting with Mirko, all that other stuff, and pretty much one thing leads to another, and you already know what they did. So you don't really have to, know what they did, but they did it. Now in this universe, I'm not gonna really make Deku recline to anybody specifically. Now everybody else said, I did ship Deku with about 3 pro heroes, and I don't know what, student I shipped Deku with, so she won't be named right now. But yeah, so Deku gets ready and all other stuff. So Deku, does the deed with Mirko, and pretty much the next day they get started on training. Now Deku starts training his all of his powers to the fullest extent, using his super speed to have a race with Ida, using his super strength to try to to spar with pretty much Sugar Rush, also using his breathing powers to work on his swimming abilities, using his super speed in his legs and his super strength in his arms to make him run, to make him fly through the air, fly through the water like a freaking like a Atlantis. Like Deku can swim as fast as Aquaman in the movies, so Deku is pretty fast. Deku also has another new ability that he found out on the day of training. Deku has an ability called Whistle. Now this ability is pretty much kind of like Black Bolt's powers, but a lot more died down. If you don't know who Black Bolt is, just look him up. He's like a pretty much he's pretty much like President Mike, but like way more powerful. Now, Deku, basically, his power is called Whistle. If Deku whistles, he can shoot out bursts of wind and sound so fast and so strong that it can mimic the strength of a bullet. Or if Deku, really pushes it, he can make it mimic the strength of a freaking pretty much what would you say a bazooka. Deku, if he whistles like loudly, if he doesn't do like a quick like precise whistle, that's the force of a bullet. But if he does like a long loud whistle, that's a force of a freaking grenade. And Deku's whistle doesn't go in multiple directions. It just goes right in front of his whistle, his lip. So yeah, so Deku's power is pretty strong. Whistle. Now Deku doesn't really use this power that much because he doesn't really need it that much, but it is uh useful when he needs it. So yeah. And Deku's whistle doesn't make sound as a bullet or a grenade or a bazooka. He just makes a whistle sound, but it does give off the force of it. So Deku uses his whistle to break some rocks and use it to break some trees and strengthen his voice. Deku also Deku trains with Mana Voice or the animal talking guy, force or strengthen his lungs and his voice to, pull off his whistles. And Deku also uses his electric abilities. Now I forgot to tell you this, guys, but Deku does have the ability to electrify objects. If Deku touches something, he can charge it up. So Deku starts, training with Denki, absorbing energy, and pretty much Deku starts training left and right, getting about pro hero levels of strength and pretty much, abilities. So Deku gets pretty OP. So Deku goes to pretty much UA the next day. Goes wakes up the next morning, pretty much having a good day. Eventually, the villains show up and they start causing some trouble. So Deku gets started and pretty much just fighting back and forth with them, taking them down left and right. So Deku starts taking them down left and right, pretty much fighting them. So Deku starts fighting them, pretty much starts going back and forth. Now Deku doesn't go and save the horned masked kid. Bakugo actually pretty much walks on to him and pretty much saves him with the help of Midnight. Now Midnight has no feelings with Bakugo, and Bakugo already dating Ochaku. So yeah, so Deku pretty much starts training, fighting some of the villains with the Wild Wild Pussycats, fighting Spinner and the Magnet guy. Now Deku automatically just knocks the shit out of Spinner and pretty much breaks both of Magnet guy's knuckles, or his kneecaps, after he has a chance to, because he does have to fight a lot more harder because the Magnet guy has a lot more stronger quirk. Now Deku helps out one of the Wild Pussycats, the brunette, pretty much tells her, to help everybody else, to tell them, use their quirks, and pretty much she tells them. So Deku helps her out, and pretty much Midnight starts, taking out other, villains. And Deku pretty much jumps on Midnight, gets around Midnight, and pretty much starts helping her left and right. And Deku starts helping Midnight fighting all of the villains, or the pretty much, whatchamacallit, oh yeah, fighting the villains with Midnight. Deku starts throwing, wind pressures left and right towards pretty much everybody, and Deku's using his super strength to break and bend pretty much trees left and right on top of the villains. So Deku, gets towards pretty much Shigaraki, and Shigaraki pretty much just keeps his distance from Deku. Shigaraki, disintegrates one of Deku's arms, and Deku falls onto the ground, slowly regenerating back. Shigaraki's about to, do a final blow, but he gets kicked right in the jaws by Midnight. Midnight lands on her feet when Shigaraki gets hit into a tree, almost getting knocked out. The Shadow Court guy picks up Shigaraki, gets him out of there as fast as possible, and Deku gets back up, having his whole entire hand regenerated. Now Deku hears, a yelling, and looks up and sees, pretty much one of the people. He sees Momo getting choked out by Muscular. Now in this universe, Muscular did escape from Midnight and Bakugo, and now he's near the rest of the place, choking out Momo. Deku runs over to Muscular, punches him straight in the face, sending him about miles away, almost out of the whole entire forest, making a whole entire crater where, Muscular was first punched. Now, Bakugo helps up Momo and says, "Are you okay?" And pretty much out of nowhere, he feels a huge pain in his stomach, seeing Muscular underneath him doing a whole entire, uppercut in his stomach, sending Deku up into the sky. Deku uses his wind pressure to keep himself up into the sky, pretty much using his electric whip to grab onto rocks, throwing them back and forth towards pretty much towards Muscular. Muscular dodges some of the rocks, but he gets choked out by Deku because Deku's in the air still, but using his electric whip to pretty much whip around Muscular's neck, choking him out like he did Momo. Deku's choking him out. Pretty much Muscular's face is turning purple. Eventually, Deku does a whole entire, drop kick finisher move, and now Momo at this point already ran off, and Midnight can't find Deku. And Deku yes, breaks Muscular's neck, snaps it like a freaking twig. I mean, guys, take a piece of, take a toothpick and pretty much break it. That's pretty much how Deku broke his neck. Just quick and, freaking real, easy. So, Muscular's dead. Deku automatically, takes Muscular, uses his super strength as much as possible, but chuck him about, chucks him pretty far out of the forest, pretty much into the ocean near them. So Muscular's, gone forever. People just think Muscular escaped. So Deku runs off into the forest, bumping into Aizawa. Aizawa tells Deku, to get back inside, but Deku says no and pretty much runs off. Now Deku's running into the forest and bumps into a whole entire situation with Froppy and Ochaku fighting Toka. Deku just sits back and sees this in the darkness, and pretty much he sees that, Toka's about to kill, pretty much, Ochaku, and says, why not? And pretty much runs over to, pretty much, runs over to, runs over to Toka. Toka dodges Deku's one attack, and pretty much Toka throws a knife towards Deku. Deku grabs it and Toka sees, blood around Deku's arm that was disintegrated, dry blood, and sees his nose bleeding because Deku did get a solid punch in the stomach, making him cough up some blood, make his nose bleed. So she does her whole entire yandere thing, and pretty much, starts flirting with Deku as she's trying to cut him. Deku dodges all of the moves, easily grabbing Toka's wrist and pretty much chucking her into a tree and knocking out Toka. Well, seemingly. Now, after that, the League of Villains show up. The Marvel guy captures Bakugo, and pretty much they dip. Adabi, fights all that. They just dip. They gone. Deku tries to use some of his blue flames to, try to, keep them back, but nothing really works. So, yeah, they dip with Bakugo and Tokiyami, and pretty much they gone. They dipped. So Deku says, "Man, that's a bummer." Pretty much with a sarcastic look on him. But Deku is, does care about Tokiyami, because he is Tokiyami's kind of a friend of his. So he does, Tokiyami isn't really a friend of Deku's. He doesn't really, have a good relationship with Tokiyami, but he doesn't have a good relationship per se with Bakugo. He hates Bakugo. He wouldn't mind just saving Tokiyami and leaving Bakugo for dead. But, he can't do that, so he just says, "Aw, man, that's a bummer." Pretty much after that, the Hero Society, that's just the worst day to be a hero. And pretty much after that, they had the whole entire thing. They go back to UA, and they pretty much have a whole entire talk about how they have to save Tokiyami. Deku says, "Yeah, we have to save Tokiyami." Pretty much they say, "We have to save Bakugo too." Deku says, yeah, whatever. And pretty much, I'm gonna end it off here, guys. See you guys later. Have a great Christmas, and I also will be uploading my new What If that I've been thinking about for a long time. Have a great day, guys. Bye.